Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Welcome back to another ASMR video. Today we are going to be reading the Warhammer 40k Tyranids Codex. We've done a couple of Codex readings on this channel, so I've made a playlist for you guys if you want to watch the rest. But so far we have read the orcs and the blood angels. This will be our third Codex reading of the Tyranids. So if you have any requests of what you want me to do for my fourth Codex reading, let me know. I have been seeing some comments, people saying Death Watch, some other ones as well, so maybe the most popular one we will purchase and read. Before we begin, I just want to show you guys some cool artwork. How cool is that? Just a little sneak peek. But for today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of soft spoken instead of just purely whispering. So I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you snuggle up, sit back, relax as we read the Tyranids Codex. Look at that. It looks so cool. Alright. See you in a bit. Alrighty. Let's begin our Warhammer 40k Tyranids Codex. Look at that. I love the artwork. If you've watched my previous videos, we're gonna have a look inside the book and look at the visuals, and a lot of them are actually real life miniatures, not like 3D modeled or whatnot. This one is obviously painted, but look how cool that is. So cool. Alright, let's begin. We got the scary looking faces again. Kind of looks like they're dying, or their souls are coming out of their bodies. A little bit creepy. And here we go. We got Tyranids, the Great Devourer. You got their, I think their symbol. It's like the Chanel logo. Okay. We have the contents. I think this might be a bit of a shorter book than the other ones that we've done. So let's have a look. We have the Intergalactic Predator. Explore the utterly alien Tyranids and the swarms they gather to consume their prey. Showcase. Tyranids miniatures arrayed for battle. That one's gonna be cool. We got Combat Patrol. The Vorgengast Swarm and fast-paced games of Combat Patrol. Also, I know I do a disclaimer in every video, but if I pronounce a a lot of these names wrong. I do apologize. We have the forces of the Tyranids. Select your detachment, then use your unit datasheets to claim victory. Crusade rules. Forge your army's narrative with these bespoke crusade rules. Then, lastly, we have the point values. All the point values you will need to muster your army. Then, in the Forces of the Tyranids chapter, we have all of these in the section. So we have introduction, army rules, detachment, and the data sheets. Produced by the Warhammer Design Studio. We'll read a little bit of this, but we won't read the whole thing. Testimony of former Governor Janet Tustot of the planet Hitos, recovered by Death Watch kill team Akratos of Fortress Modgod. Well, this is a bit of a tongue twister. And presented to Inquisitor Cuskane, Czakyn, Zakin. Oh, I cannot read that word. Thought for the day, life is the Emperor's currency, spend it well. It has been 4 months since they came, 2 since I abandoned my wife and the daughters to save myself. I do not pray for forgiveness, for I am unworthy of it. I only beseech the most holy God Emperor, that is, record, may survive the death that now rapidly engulfs my world, so that perhaps other territories of mankind may not suffer as ours has. That I, body and soul, am now damned is beyond all doubt. My faith, however, does not have to be shared by others. It began much longer than 4 months ago. The signs were inconspicuous, but they were there. Only in hindsight now do I see them. At the time I was ignorant, blissfully so, as were my generals, my advisor, my priests. Not one now lives, all probably little more than bubbling bio-cruel in some nutrient awaiting consumption by the bioships that dominate the skies above. What were the signs? Tectonic activity that toppled hat blocks, graphitic upheaval that caused orbital stations to the ground or flung them into deep space, bizarre tidal patterns that dried seas and drowned townships. Then there were the deaths and the disappearances. For many months they were merely the problem of the local enforcer detachments, and I heard nothing of them, until they grew numerous enough, that is. Rumors became known then of Xenos Tyranids' involvement. I dismissed them as nonsense. The acts of sabotage and grisly murders, the weapon thefts, all were the malicious acts of malcontents. I declared who would be hunted down and punished. There had been known encounters with the Xenos in the entire subsector, and thanks to the efforts of my ancestors and myself, Hutos was well guarded as it ever had been. Then the shadow descended, and I knew how wrong I had been. I already see a lot of words that I cannot pronounce. We lost contact with our neighbor worlds of Zornst and Gedaglel. Zornst and Gedaglel. The Sinanfar Anchorage Naval Base, as well as the Forge Moon Alf B7. All had been staunch friends. Our relationships with their masters built up over centuries of careful diplomacy and generous aid. Once the ear-bleeding screaming of our astropaths finished, and the servitors scraped and washed away what little remained of the poor souls, there was total silence. It was as if we were the last human world in their galaxy. I kept this from the people and most of my advisors, but I could not hide the monster ships. I could not deny the existence of the filth that plunged through our atmosphere, nor the vanguard beast that stalked our lands and darkened our skies. I was informed that atmospheric scans claimed that there were some trillion tons of spore matter was released over us within a matter of days. Many were explosives, part of a preliminary bombardment that saw hundreds of thousands of souls melted by searing acids or pierced through with venomous spikes. A great portion were amniotic pods filled with spawning fluids in which gestated savage, blade-limbed beasts. It was only weeks after, around the time, that Gazilla's keep and the spire of his everlasting greatness fell, that we gained a greater understanding of what the remaining spores did to our world. In the southern tundras, average temperatures had almost doubled, humidity the same. The Gaden salt flats and the Hularuth Sand Sea, devoid of life for millennia, now resembled forests of chitin-covered alien protrusions sprouting out from the ground. Many billowing clouds of yet more spores. Perversely, crop yields collapsed to all but nothing. Livestock succumbed to the foulness in the air in their millions. Alright, I think that's a bit of a general gist of what is happening, but let's not read all of this because we have a lot more to go through. But feel free to pause the video if you want to read the rest. Alright. We have the intergalactic predator. Beyond the human galaxy, beyond the range of man-made spacecraft and astro telepathy, lies the unspeakable cold of the intergalactic void. Few have ventured into this realm, and none have ever been returned. It is the great barrier that divides galaxy from galaxy, a place where time and space conspire to hold the world apart with inconceivable distances. Yet the void is no longer empty. An immeasurably ancient and immeasurable intelligence moves through the cold and the darkness, its many eyes fixed on the distant, glittering lights of our galaxy. The great devourer moves between the stars and hungers for the flesh of all who lie before it. This great organism, this monstrous entity, is known as the Tyranid race. Even by naming the great devourer, civilizations betray their ignorance. Every thought and action, every spark of life in the Tyranid race is bound and interlinked into a single mind, a single great entity that stretches over light years of space and is controlled by the immortal hive mind. 1 billion times 1 billion Tyranids stand at the rim of the galaxy, yet each one is no more than a single cell in the living body of the hive mind, the devourers of worlds. Wow, look at this artwork. They're really scary looking, these aliens, and look how many teeth he has, and a lot of spikes. They're like the Demogorgons from Stranger Things, but colorful. They look really scary. The Tyranids are a race of alien predators that are invading the galaxy from the void beyond its edges. Like swarming insects falling upon precious crops, they devour all of them, consuming all life upon each world in their path, leaving nothing but airless rocks in their wake. They are a threat to every sentient species in the galaxy, and their numbers are ever growing. Alright, let's take a little quick drink break. First contact. The first recorded encounter between the Imperium and the Tyranids came on the world of Tyrant Primus in 745.M41. It was the conflict that would see humanity put a name to this new alien menace, and saw the beginning of High Fleet Behemoth rampage. Yet, it was not the only early contact between the Tyranids and their prey. It's difficult to say when humanity first encountered the Tyranid menace. Some records suggest that humanity, and also the auditory of Craftworld Iodin, discovered a bizarre Tyranid megastructure in the Tiamat system on the jungle world of Euphoria as early as M35. This edifice is said to have spanned a continent and to have projected from its mass of chitin and encephalitic tissue a horrifically powerful psychic signal that drove the Eldari into fatal seizures. Rumor has it amongst the Ordo Xenos that this structure and others like it remain to this day, seemingly raised by the strange beast of High Fleet Tiamat for some as yet undisclosed purpose. Are you guys enjoying the Tyranids so far? Let's read The Death of Tyrant. The first clue of the horror soon to fall upon Tyrant Primus was discovered by Imperial explorators. In performing a census of the world near Tyrant Primus, they discovered entire planets scoured for all biological life. Not even the simplest bacteria survived on these denuded rocks. In truth, what the explorers had found were the first worlds to be devoured by high-fleet behemoth after its long and lifeless sojourn through their intergalactic void. Thus far, it had only consumed worlds without sentient life to defend them, for its reserves were depleted from years of hibernation. Soon enough, it would channel newly absorbed biomass into huge swarms of war beasts, ready to begin the invasion proper. Yet, the explorators lacked the context to perceive the peril implicit in this ominous mystery. The tyrant outposts dutifully continued to file reports of dead worlds, and the warning went unheeded. Then we got the Hive Fleets. Even a single Hive Fleet is a terrible threat, and many such tendrils of the hive mind now push their way deeper into settled space. Worse still, one of the greatest strengths of the Tyranids is their ability to learn and adapt to the tactics of their prey. As more and more hive fleets surge to attack, so the hive mind learns ever more swiftly how to best make war upon the galaxy. Look at this. Very scary. They're like a jellyfish. And then there they are. And they're fighting people. We got the shadow in the warp, settling like a colossal and terrible pall across countless worlds. The shadow in the warp heralds the coming of the Tyranid hive fleets. It is a nightmarish phenomenon that, whether by accident or design, has proven a cripplingly effective weapon against many of the galaxy's sentient races. It's actually really creepy. Who even came up and designed this? Oh, I like the color. Alright, we have bioships. The vast emptiness of space is no barrier to the Tyranids' all-encompassing hunger. Each hive fleet consists of countless bioships, enormous space-swimming creatures whose grotesque forms are endless in diversity and function. No bioship is truly a single organism. Rather, each is a complex composite of dozens, if not hundreds of different creatures. Every part, every organ and extremity is a specifically designed symbiotic bioconstruct, operating under a single unified consciousness of the bioship itself. Alright, feel free to pause the page here. We will be moving on to the next page. But look how cool this is. It's all the paintings. I can't wait to have a look at the photographed miniatures. Alright, we're up to the Tyrannic Wars. Tyranids. The First Tyrannic War. Behemoth was the first Hive fleet recognized by the Imperium of Man. After annihilating the outburst at Tyrant Primus, it thundered on through settled space, carving a direct line towards the ultramarine stellar empire of Ultramar. Driven on by a primal hunger it seemed unable to fully control, the Hive fleet appeared as unstoppable as it was bestially unsubtle. Second Tyrannic War. Following the defeat of the Hive fleet behemoth, some Imperial observers believe that the Tyranid threat of humanity has outlived countless such Xenos threats. They pointed out, each destructive in their own right, yet ultimately minor in the grand scheme of the wider Imperium. Several centuries passed before this assumption was proven the worst sort of foolish optimism. Now moving on to the Third Tyrannic War. Only years after the defeat of Hive Fleet Kraken at Ikar 4. I think that's 4. Yes. Sorry, I can't read numeral numbers. Hive Fleet Leviathan drove its tendrils up through the galactic plane. The largest and most widespread hive fleet to date, the Leviathan, showed clear signs of having learned from the fates of Behemoth and Kraken. Its swarms continued to pose all-pervading threat to life in the galaxy. The Fourth Tyrannic War. How many wars are there? Oh my. The Fourth Tyrannic War. To the galaxy's great misfortune, Hive Fleet Leviathan had yet to reveal the full extent of its power. More mass slaughter and terrible destruction will still to come, as fresh tendrils of Hive Fleet slid into the segmentum Pacificus in the galactic west. Feel free to pause. I feel like all the other books that we've read wasn't this text heavy. There's a lot of lore, like stories and diaries in this. We have the living arsenal. Tyranid weaponry and war gear is entirely organic. Some examples, such as heavy carapaces of chitinous armor, chameleonic flesh, or spore-spewing gas bladders, are integral to the warrior organisms that employ them on the hunt. The rest appear to be grown in the churning innards of the hive ships and symbiotically crafted to the body forms that will wield them. We have the Devourer, the Flesh Borer, Spine Fist, Barb Strangler, Venom Cannons. We have the Impaler Cannon, the Death Spitter, the Scything Talon, Burn Sword, Rending Claw, Burn Mace, Spall Mines, Predatory Projectiles, and Flesh Hooks. I reckon we'll read my two favorite ones based on the looks. I think I like the predatory projectiles and the maybe the flesh borer. Alright, let's read predatory projectiles. The hive mind has proven monstrously inventive. Oh my. Guys, I kind of struggle to read. And this book is really challenging me. I think this is good for me because that means I'm strengthening my reading skills. The hive mind has proven monstrously inventive in its ever adapting arsenal of living projectiles. From blunt force trauma and violent impalement to bioelectric shock, acidic corrosion, hemorrhagic detonation, or death by toxin, the range weapon forms of the hive fleets inflict all of these fates and more upon their prey. Warrior organisms have even demonstrated the ability to produce their own form of bioplasma that is more than capable of reducing armored warriors to mounds of glowing ashes. And let's read the flesh borer. I think it was at the front here. Yeah, the second one. Flesh borer. The flesh borer is an organic borer within which dwell borer beetles. When the weapon is fired, it stimulates the beetles to launch themselves from the barrel with their flea-like rear legs. The creatures then spend their final seconds of life chewing frenziedly through the burns of their victims. Ew. Flesh borers can launch from many different types of beetle, from creatures which hardened, armor-piercing chitin to ones with biochemical incendiary fluid. The latter are grimly referred to as torch bugs. Torch bugs. Who knew that would have beetles coming out? We got some more diaries from Inquisitor, I can never say his name, Zakin Uzier. His entire chamber was filled with such documents. A vox recording played through the chamber the last words of the planetary governor, crackling to their grim conclusion. Wow. And this is really cool artwork. It really looks like they're like octopus, squid, just like flying up. Oh, this is my favorite part. The shark case. Predatory panoply. No glint of metal or spark of motive power is to be seen amongst the Tyranids. Instead, all his rippling chitin, dripping innards and twisted alien flesh. In one aspect alone do their swarms mirror the more conventional armies upon which they prey. Each hive fleet has its own unifying color schemes by which its organisms are instantly recognizable. These predatory hues are nothing to martial organizations. Instead, they are another weapon of terror in the hive mind's arsenal. I actually really like their color. It's like a pinky purple color. But that's about it. Other than that, they look really scary and gross. Not gross, but like they just look like aliens, and aliens look scary. So But yeah, how crazy it is that this is a real life further. And you can see the bases, the little turfs, the rocks. It's just crazy how high definition this camera would have been, and you can see like the smoke. They might have had like a smoke fog machine thing, or maybe that's special effects. I'm not sure, but like really, it's like so detailed. Oh, and there's more. This is insane. Like, this is really cool. And you can see this other team fighting them. This one's flying. They probably used like invisible string to keep it upright and flying. Really cool. Oh, alright, so this is some of the characters. We have Hive Fleet Leviathan Lictor. He has really long ass arms and he stands a bit upright like a person. Whereas these Hive Fleet Leviathan Hormagons are like, they look like dinosaurs. Then we have the Hive Fleet Leviathan Gene Stealers. Very cool. There's more. Oh, I see the orcs. Orcs represent fighting this. The Kraken. I don't know. They all kind of look the same to be honest. Like within a faction. Oh, there's like a blue and yellow team. I haven't seen this one before. That's cool. They look like some of them are girls. This one looks like a girl. I love that. Oh, there's a bald man there. Not an all-girl team. Yeah, this is really cool. Oh, I like this color. It's like a light blue color. Fighting this big thing. They are fighting the space wolves. Interesting. This is the Hive Fleet. I can't say fleet properly. Leviathan Biovore. Oh, look at that big weapon. Then we have the Hive Fleet Leviathan Termagant with the Devourer. And then one with a shard launcher. Oh wow. This one's the Hive Fleet Leviathan Screamer Killer. Scary. Scary. Then this one's the Hive Fleet Leviathan Norn Assimilator. This one is giant. Look how big this base is. Oh, and we got these little tiny mini people. When the Tyranids board a prey warship, the vessel ceases being a colossal weapon of war. It becomes a death trap. Such was the fate of the Tempest-class battlecruiser Fury of the Will and its entire war group assaulted by the Tyranids' Hive Fleet Behemoth. The millennia-old vessel and its fellow voidcraft were lost with all hands, the wreckage only discovered 2 centuries later with every scrap of biomass stripped from it. That's this one here. And then at the bottom here, on an industrial world at the very edge of Forge World, Metallica area of influence, a splinter fleet of Hive Fleet Behemoth has unleashed tides of bioorganisms to rampage over the surface. The pollution smog that once filled the air has been usurped by the haze of xenospores that have already begun the consumption of the planet. Oh no. Oh, that's what the spark is. It's not just for special effects. Though the Skitari legions defending the world fight with all the cold discipline they are renowned for, they are doomed. I like how they're actually explaining what's happening in the furthers. I feel like they don't really do that in the other books. We have the High Fleet Leviathan Neurolictor, the Neurogons, and the Neurotyrant and Neuroloid. Oh, this one you can see the brains. The brains. The top further here. Some world eaters savor few enemies such as the Tyranids, for the Xenos present a near endless supply of skulls to offer the blood god. For the Tyranids, the heretic Astartes are merely another form of prey, to be overwhelmed and consumed. Though many bioorganisms might be slain by the Chaos Space Marines, it matters little. Their biomass is recycled anew as if no damage was done. Whoa, look at this. So cool. There's a lot going on. A lot going on. I like this one here. Very cool. Lots of them flying. This is the big giant one. The neuro one. What is it? Neurolicta. The Neurolicta, I think. Wait, that's not it. It's this one. The Neurotyrant. I'm telling you, they all look very, very much alike. We have Combat Patrol. COMBATPATROL. In this section, you will find all the essentials for using the Vargingas swarm in games of Combat Patrol, from tactical commentary and a guide to painting your miniatures to bespoke faction rules and datasheets. We have the Vargingas swarm. We got the Psychophage. One model is equipped with a Psychoclastic turret, talons, and betentacled maw. Termagants, 10 models. Oh, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Every model is equipped with flesh borer, chitinous claws, and teeth. We got the Von Ryan Leapers. We have the Von Ryan Leapers. Every model is equipped with Leaper's talons. There's 1, 2, 3. I like how they lay it all out. Like how many models there are. We have Terror of Vargingas. One model. This model is equipped with prime talons. Termagants. Every model is equipped with flesh borer, chitinous claws, and teeth. Oh, we already read that one. And then last one, Barbgons, 5 models. Every model is equipped with a barb launcher, chitinous claws, and teeth. Very cool. Oh, nice. Painting your combat patrol. On the following pages, you will find a painting guide to help you bring your Tyranids combat patrol to life. By following the steps out here, you will be able to paint your models in the colors of High Fleet Leviathan to a battle-ready standard. And also learn useful techniques that you can apply to your collection as it grows. If we want to start getting into painting the miniatures before even playing the game, you'll need certain paints for your team. So here we have the recommended Citadel brush and the Citadel color paints. So there's actually a hobby shop near my house where they sell all of these like Warhammer stuff, so you can buy the these things. I have in my black, the miniatures, lol. And they also have like the paints, the brushes, the little turfs, and all that. And I've noticed that there are a lot of different brands that they sell for the paints, but I think Citadel is the most expensive one. So if you want to get the exact look of it, I think it will be very expensive. But if you want to get started into painting, you'll need the Wraithburn, Magus Purple, Volupus Pink, Sigvald Burgundy, Gene Stealer Purple, Abaddon Black, Dark Reaper, Mephiston Red, Nuln Oil, Fugan Orange, Real Yellow, Astroganti Debris. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a lot of paints. And let's assume that each paint is $7. That's $84 alone, plus the brush, which I'm assuming is like $12. That's almost $100. It's just for this. And then you have to buy the actual miniatures, and then like the glue and the turfs and stuff. I do apologize if there are a lot of cuts in this video. I still have a lingering cough that will not go away. But yeah, it's funny that I say that it's expensive because they also want you to prime your models. But with the basing, there's like 3 different steps. So the first, I think, is the base color, and then you have like the shadow and then the highlights is what I'm thinking. So the base is the Astrogranite Debris, and then the Nuln Oil is a shading. Apply of this once it's completely dry. And the Wraithburn is the highlight because it's obviously lighter. Dry brush the base gently with the paint, then apply thin coats of Abaddon Black to the base edge to finish. Alright, so to paint the Tyranid skin, you'd want to apply a thin base coat of the Wraithburn base paint, and then you want to add the Magus Purple into the skin areas, and then relayer the skin with the same paint. Oh, interesting. So it's like not entirely the purple color, it's like a bit muted. And then the joints and the tongues, you'd want to use the pink color, making sure to not let your paint overflow onto the other parts. That's really difficult. And then you'd want to apply a highlight of thinned, rough burn after. Take your time and keep a point on your brush. Then you want to play the chitinous carapaces, the claws, hooves, and weapon carapaces, the barb launchers, the wings and termagant weapons, neural masses, the eyes, and the teeth. Alright, this one is Combat Patrol, the Vargan Swarms. Let's just have a look to see the other ones. So, yeah. We have the Terror of Vargan, the Psychophage, the Termagants. I'm not gonna read through all of this because this is just like their abilities and how to play the game, I guess. Then we have the Barbgons. Really like this fleshy, peachy color here. We have the Von Ryan Liebers. Alright, Forces of the Tyranids. There is no walking from this nightmare. Relentlessly, it tightens its grip, and so our thrashing grows more desperate. In the manner of all nightmares, the threat refuses to take form. It writhes with the shadows of our bleakest imaginings, dawns grotesqueries, thrust them like puppets from the darkness. It tantalizes with the promise of ultimate horror, yet unglimpsed. And each time we think we must surely wake, instead we fall deeper into its tendrilous embrace. Okay, introduction of the rules. Welcome to the rules section of Codex Tyranids. Whether forging your own tales of glory and infamy with narrative play, or pitting yourself against your opponents in nail-biting match play contests, the following pages represent all the rules you will need to bring your Tyranids collection to life on the tabletop. Army rules. Synapse. Some Tyranids serve as a synaptic conduits or nodal relays through which a portion of the hive mind's iron will flourish, overriding the natural instinct of the swarm to direct the teeming warrior beast to function as a single gestalt organism on the battlefield. If your army faction is Tyranids, while a Tyranid unit from your army is within 6 feet of one or more friendly synapse models, that Tyranid unit is said to be within synapse range of that model and of your army. Each time a Tyranid unit from your army takes a battle shock test, if it is within synapse range of your army, take that test on 3d6 instead of 2d6. I don't know what any of that means. Alright, we got Invasion Fleet, Enhancements, Alien Cunning, Perfectly Adapted, Synaptic Lichpin, Adaptive Biology. We have the Crusher Stampede Enhancements, Omnious Presence, Enraged Reserves, Null Nodules, Monstrous Nemesis. We have the Unending Swarm. Enhancements are Relentless Hunger, Naturalized Camouflage, Piercing Talons, Adrenalized Onslaught. Assimilation Swarm enhancements, regenerating monstrosity, instinctive defense, biophagic flare, biophagic flare aura, parasitic biomorphology. What? More biomorphology. Biomorphology. They make it so hard to speak. Parasitic biomorphology. Then we have the Vanguard Onslaught. Enhancements are Hunting Grounds, Chameleonic, Stalker, Neuronode. Synaptic Nexus, Power of the Hive Mind, Psychostatic Disruption, Synaptic Control, and the Diarchy Heart of Chorus Aura. Data sheets. There are nights that I sleep, or so the Medicaid wardens tell me. The nightmares are so horrific, I try to stay awake when I can. But in all honesty, being awake is worse. Then I can see the shapes in the corners of the room. I can hear things scratch in the walls. I can feel things move under my filthy rags. They tell me I didn't see anything on Tyler 3rd. Beat me and scream at me for the delusional coward I am. I know they are right, but the throne helped me. Can't they understand? I didn't see how one abomination, and yet they are still here. They are in my head. Can you hear them? More data sheets. Hive Tyrant. We have the Winged Hive Tyrant. We have the Winged Tyranid Prime, and then the Neuro Tyrant. Next page, we have the Nord Emissary, which is this big thing with the sword. We have the Nord Assimilator. Got the Neurolictor, Broodlord, Swarmlord, Old One Eye, Parasite of Mortex, Molterex, Gargoyles, Hormigons, Termagants. Tyranid warriors with ranged bioweapons, Tyranid warriors with melee bioweapons. We got Chain Stealers, Neurogons, Raveners, Barbgons, Biovores, Priovores, Carnifexus, Death Leaper, Exocrine, Harpy, oh, cool, Hive Crone. We got Haruspex, Hive Guard, Lictor, Maliceptor, Moloch, Mucolid Spores. Ew, that looks gross. Psychophage, Ripper Swarms. Oh my god, there's so many. Screamer Killer, Spore Mines, Sporkist, Turviagon, Toxicrene, Trigon, Tyrannokite, Tyrannofex, Tyrant Guard, Venom Throps, Von Ryan Leapers, Zoyanothropes, And we have the Crusade rules. Introduction. This section contains the following rules: devouring worlds, agendas, requisitions, battle traits, battle scars, crusade relics, crusade badges. As High Fleets tighten their stranglehold on the galaxy, more and more worlds succumb to their unending hunger. The rules presented on the following pages allow you to devour one world after another, strengthening your force as your furs full. Tyranid armies can attempt to achieve unique agendas in addition to those found in other publications. These represent the faction's unique goals and their particular methods of waging war. Tyranid armies have access to a number of bespoke requisitions in addition to those found in other publications. As they gain experiences and prowess, Tyranid units in your crusade force can be given one of the battle traits in this section instead of one presented elsewhere. Themed to a unique nature of the Tyranids, these battle scars represent long-lasting effects units from your crusade force may come to carry. In addition to the crusade relics presented in other crusade publications, Tyranid character models can claim one of their crusade relics found here. Here you will find 3 crusade badges representing goals you can set yourself when campaigning with your crusade force. Once one is achieved, you can set yourself a new goal or take the opportunity to start a new crusade force. So this is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, Vanguard adaptation, infestation, and guard and consume. This is their agendas. If your crusade army includes any Tyranid units, you can select agendas from those presented here. Infest with the prey world, tyranniform the prey world, and hunt and slay. Requisitions. If your crusade force includes any Tyranid units, you can spend requisition points on any following requisitions: Respawn Warrior Organism, an intellect fast and cold, synaptic bioregenesis, and adapted psychology. Physiology, not psychology. And then the battle traits. We have rudimentary instincts. Mucolid spores and spore mines units never gain XP, and so can never gain battle honors. However, they are also assumed to pass on any out-of-action tests they are required to take. No dice is rolled, and so never accrue battle scars. You can mark the XP section of their crusade card as NA to remind you. Battle scars. You have the Tyranid units and the Synap units. You have uncontrollable, by instinct alone, mindless focus, and bestial rage. For Synap units, you have neural dissonance, synaptic decay, lobe impairment, and cast no shadows. Crusade relics. When a Tyranid character model gains a crusade relic, you can select one of the crusade relics presented here. You have the artificial relics, spirit leech cortex, and pale mind membrane. You have the antiquity relics, which is the Mort Rexide implant attack, and the Slayer Sabres. Then lastly, I have the legendary relics, which is the Norn crown. This is the point value. You can use this section to determine the point value for each unit of your army. Each entry lists the unit size and the associated points value for that size. You can learn more about using points to muster your army on pages 55 to 56 of the core rules. Then you have the detachment enhancements. And this is the last page, Crusade badges. You have the Vanguard Tendril. You have successfully devoured one world, and you have won at least 2 battles. You have the Monstrous Tendril. You have successfully devoured 3 different types of world, and you have won at least 6 battles. And the last one, All-Consuming Tendril. You have successfully devoured 5 worlds, including at least 1 of each type. You have won at least 10 battles. A character from your Crusade force has reached the legendary rank. And lastly, a character from your Crusade force possesses the Norn Crown Crusade relic. That is the end. Before we wrap up, let's read the last page. The back of the book. The Tyranids are an all-consuming alien swarm. Driven by the vast and ineffable intellect of the hive mind, their tendrils dive deeper into the galaxy with every passing hour. Single-minded meta-predators, the Tyranids cannot be reasoned with. Bought off or put to fight, they seek only to strip each new world they encounter, devouring every shred of biomass to feed the relentless advance of the hive fleets, and leaving dead, airless husk worlds in their wake. Endlessly adaptable, the Tyranids possesses no mechanical technology. Instead, their weapons and their war gear are symbiotic or parasitic organisms, bonded with their wielders and capable of annihilating the Tyranids' prey with hails of bioacid, living projectiles, and ravaging psionic energies. From seething masses of warrior organisms to malevolent leader beasts and the walking battle tank-sized monsters, the Tyranid swarms are as nightmarish as they are unstoppable. Alright, and that is the end of our video. Let's do a little close-up of the back of the book. Look at that. How cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a lot of tongue twister words for me because a lot of the words I have never pronounced in my whole entire life. So I hope you guys didn't have a blood nose after listening to that. But yeah, this is the Warhammer 40k Tyranids Codex. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you want me to keep doing more videos like this, please let me know. I have created a Warhammer playlist on my channel if you guys are interested. Thank you so much for the love and the support. Please pray for me because I'm still sick and my voice is not getting any better. But I'm sure I will when time passes. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in my next one. Bye. Good night. Good night.